Hello everyone, Planty and John here.
Hi guys, we've got a massive announcement to make. We're doing our first live show this year. What films are we talking about?
2001's Shrek, John. The OG.
Ah, the OG. R.E.
Very good. Yes, indeed. It's an all-ages show at Carlisle Megacon on August 17th, which is Carlisle's premier nerd gathering with over 40 stalls, gaming, cosplay, and really handsome podcasters.
Oh God, do I have to watch my language then?
Nah, it's fine, mate. There'll be other Scottish people there. We'll get subtitles for the English.
That's Megacon at Richard Rose Academy, Carlisle, on the 17th of August from 12 noon. It's £5 a ticket, and that includes seeing Beautiful Us.
Oh, and my brilliant Scottish accent. Ach, donkey!
Aye, right. Jesus Christ. Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Stevenson, Wilton, Nighy, Moran, Frost, Davies, Ashfield and Pegg. We're looking at 2004's Shaun of the Dead.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts, my name's Planty, and can I get any of you cunts a drink?
And I'm the other guy, and I'm just here for the shits and giggles.
Plenty of shits and giggles here, John. This week's episode.
There really was. Absolutely loved it.
Listeners, if you, of course, we're the podcast trying to learn 100 things from every film that we cover. If you like what we do, follow us on all of our socials at 100thingswelearnfromfilm.co.uk. You can always give us a quid a month on patreon.com/100things, and we will give you a shout out each episode. We'll also allow you to pick a film. Now, a slight change, John, in the advertised, or not very well advertised, scheduling. Patrons will know that we'd said that this week we would be doing the Patron's Choice. But I shit the bed a little bit because I've been saying for the whole 4 years that we've been doing it, on the 20th anniversary of Shaun of the Dead, we're going to do it. And then I looked it up at the 20th anniversary. One day before the 20th anniversary and went, fuck, can we get this done this week? Messaged you and you went, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out.
And we did indeed figure it out. So, John, I'm not going to ask you what film we're talking about because I've just told everybody. What year?
2004.
2004. Now, Jesus. I know we've done at least one really enjoyable 2004 film.
Yes, we have. We've done loads. Well, no, I think we've done a couple, but what a year for film it was. So what we could have been watching is Man on Fire, which is really
Man on Fire's fun. Yeah.
I feel like that sort of thing.
And we love it's one of our favourite tropes as well, isn't it? A Man on Fire, literally.
One of yours. The Bond Supremacy.
Oh, that's a great movie.
51st Dates. I know that's your favourite. Yeah. That and Bridget Jones.
Oh, Bridget Jones is a good film. That's a future episode.
Kangaroo Jack.
Nope.
No, thank you very much. And last but not least, I liked it, but may I watch it, I'm not liking it, is Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh, yeah, with Jim Carrey as the uncle. Yeah. Little baby Emily Browning. She's a tiny little baby in it.
Tiny.
You missed a zombie film from 2004 that we did as probably our third ever episode.
Well, I've got some facts about it later on.
Oh, right, okay.
Dawn of the Dead. I wanted to miss out.
There is a little mention in the film, isn't there, about it. It's really like ADR'd in there. It's great. Fantastic stuff. So, great year. Listeners, if you've listened to this for any period of time at all, you will probably know that this Shaun of the Dead is such an important film to me. We did Hot Fuzz because I thought we weren't ready to do Shaun of the Dead. Realistically, we shouldn't have done either of them as like the third or fourth episode, second or third episode. But it is what it is. But I left this until we'd got, 100 odd episodes under our stride, and here we are. It was such an important film to me, this, because I loved Spaced, and I want to say I was day one in the cinema, but I might have been day 2 or 3 in the cinema, and there was like me and 2 other people.
What?
In the cinema for this, because people didn't know.
Sacrilege.
People just didn't know. And then I went to see Hot Fuzz and it was sold out. Just goes to show, doesn't it?
It hit the spot. It really did hit the spot.
Absolutely. You, John, obviously a good relationship with this film because it's a great movie.
Yes, and obviously Kirsty's obsessed, was just like you, obsessed with space. So I was just loving Simon Pegg and his work. Nick Frost it was quite a surprise for me, because I remember in Space it was good, but it's not later on you see him in the Cornetto trilogy that you realise how funny he actually is.
That's it. Yeah, I'm in Sheffield, Timmy. I must fall asleep on the tube. The tube doesn't go to Sheffield. Yeah, I think I must have changed at King's Cross. It's probably one of my favourite Mike lines in Space. There might be a couple of Space references coming up, because it's spaced heavy, this, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Proper space heavy.
It's kind of like, let's remember all our pals. Oh, yeah. For sure. Okay, shall we get started?
Let's go.
Lovely stuff. So we open up. It's a Studio Canal one, John. Anything on Studio Canal?
Yeah, they gave us Paddington in Terminator 2 and founded in 1988 when Kirsty was born.
Oh, right. Oh, she's just a wee thing.
A wee thing.
She's just a wee dot. She's just a wee dot. Paddington, previous episode, of course. We had already done Studio Canal, so I didn't really find anything that I hadn't done before. But what I chose to do was cover one of my favourite non-film subjects. And that's right, listeners. Here are some facts about canals.
No way.
The word canal derives from the old French word chanel, which means channel. No, really.
Chanel.
The oldest known canals are aqueducts built in Mesopotamia. That Mesopotamia place, yeah.
You Mesopotamia that up.
I did, yeah, because I've written Mesopotamia and circa and not put a space between them like a prick. Mesopotamia, circa 2400 BC. Jesus. Birmingham has 35 miles of canals, which is said to be more than Venice. There you go. Canal facts.
You learn something new every day.
That's it. Cold open to Shaun, Simon Pegg, in a pub talking to Lizzie's girlfriend. Liz wants Shaun to have a break from Ed. It's not that I don't like Ed. It's not that I don't like you, Ed. He's like,
oh, brilliant.
Ed is arguably one of British comedy cinema's best characters.
Oh, he really is.
He's fucking awful, and at different points in my life, I have been both Shaun and Ed. In fact, for a short period of time, I was Shaun, and the rest of my life, I've been Ed.
I was playing a puggy machine, wasn't he?
He was indeed.
So Charles Fay created the three-reeled one-arm bandit called the Liberty Bell back in 1894.
Okay, wow.
1894, they were playing puggies.
1894. I wonder how that works.
What a year.
Magnets, probably.
Magnets. Steaming valves.
It just means I have to bring out my friends, and that exacerbates things.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Well, I mean, I don't really want to have to bring down it. No, what does exacerbate mean? It means to make things worse. It's brilliant. And I did that as a fact because we didn't know what that meant. We meet David and Diane, who do not look particularly happy. Shaun brings Ed because Ed doesn't have many friends, and this is the "Can I get any of you cunts a drink?" Which I think's really thoughtful. He's at least offering to get around in.
And Glasgow, that's how they say it. You like any cunt like a drink.
Is that what your mum said to you on your 18th birthday?
Pretty much, yeah.
Diane and David recommend ideas for dates. They came to the Winchester for drinks on their anniversary. Shaun, hog lumps, throws them at his head.
Yeah, fictional for this. I double checked. You can actually buy them.
Product. Yeah. Okay.
Somebody actually makes them. You buy them for a bag for £15, but I was like, no chance.
No, you're all right. I'll just have some normal scratchings. We learn Liz has not even met Shaun's mum, and the line is, "Don't you love your mum?" Are you ashamed of your mum? No, I love my mum. I love his mum. She's like, but and I promised listeners, I promised John earlier on I just wouldn't read the entire script of this, but I just can't help myself.
Yeah, you know it inside it.
Yeah, I absolutely do. He promises to book them a meal at the place that does all the fish.
Yes.
Tomorrow things will change, I promise. Now, the one thing that this film does well, because it's the one thing that Edgar Wright does well is foreshadowing, and he just does it in such everything is so blatant, but you don't realise until you go back and you watch it again.
And you watch it again,
how blatant everything is. I see him next time I see him, he's dead. He's brilliant.
I
always think of that. And there's also when the little kid kicks the ball at Shaun, you're dead. It's great. It's fantastic.
Even that bit where he's saying the place that does the fish, as soon as it goes through the phone book, it's actually written in the phone book as the place that does the fish.
Fulci's the place that does the fish. Yeah. Ghost Town by the Specials is playing in the background at the time. First of many songs, this, by the way. So poor patron Stig, who hates this bit when we do songs. 12th of June 1981, but I think it's absolutely timeless. Massive fan of this piece of music. 68th in Australia, almost nice, one off being nice. 15th in the super sexy Flanders, and 12 where, John?
The Netherlands.
Jesus
Christ. It's getting worse. The Netherlands.
You're starting to sound like, that video of Orson Welles. The French champagne. That's what you sound like.
Sorry. The Netherlands.
It was also number 1 in the UK. Smoking in pubs, John. This was really jarring to me to see him having a fag in the pub. In Scotland, it was March 2006. Wales and Northern Ireland followed suit in 2007. And England, of course, always the last to the fucking party, unless it involves raiding somewhere for all their jewels. 2007, July.
Yeah.
Fixed penalty notice of £200 for smoking anywhere you should not in the UK.
That's pretty much the price of a packet of fags up here.
I think it is these days, yeah. The titles have loads of people that we're going to meet in the film. There's character pushing trolleys, serving checkout. The music is the Blue Wrath by I Monster, which they've had some numbers. Yeah. Shaun's walking like a zombie. He's just got up, and John's Ed playing a game. Ain't you got work? Player 2 has left the game. It's
That's good, isn't it?
Fantastic stuff. That game, John, did you recognise it?
Time Splitters 2?
Time Splitters 2.
On PlayStation 2, I remember the remote control gave it away. The remote control, because it had the lead on it. It's called the remote control.
The remote control. Wow. Indeed it was, yeah. Shaun gets ready for his job, and we meet Pete, the always brilliant Peter Serafinowicz.
Yeah.
Dwayne Benzie from Spaced. Dwayne Benzie. The third housemate, and he hates Ed. He's lazy and doesn't bring any money in. Shaun explains, yeah, but he's a laugh. What? Because he can impersonate an orangutan? Oh, fuck a doodle do. Pete remembers the night they stayed up playing Tekken 2 and drinking apple schnapps. Yeah, when was that? 5 fucking years ago. Tekken 2, John, published in 1995 in UK arcades, and October the 2nd in the UK on the OG PlayStation.
On the OG?
The OG.
That's one I grew up and loved.
Yes, me too. Shaun starts to talk to him, but he gets... I'll start that again. Boop. So Shaun goes to talk to Ed and starts to talk to him, but he gets a call off someone for some drugs. He's like...
All right,
Noodle. Mate. All right, Noodle. All right, mate. Which I still do all the... And it's become so much of my lexicon, I've put it into my own... and I just do so much. All right, mate.
I ain't got nothing. Got nothing.
I ain't got nothing. I've only got Henry. I've only got Henry. Henry the 8th is obviously an 8th of soap bar, I assume.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Ed agrees to clean up, but only for Shaun, not for Pete. I ain't doing nothing for him. I ain't doing nothing for him. So he apologises. I'm sorry, Shaun. He says, look, it's all right. He's like, no, I'm sorry. And he's guffed. What does he say?
I'll stop doing them when you stop laughing.
And I love that. I've never done that because that's probably too far for me.
Yeah,
it's farting at someone to try and make them laugh.
That's not your style. A couple of things about that, the whole scene there. So there was a CRT TV, wasn't there?
There was indeed. Yeah.
So I was looking this up. The last CRT was made in 2015 by a recycling and refurbishment parts company called Videocon. So they made the last one, the very last one.
Wow.
There was a household directory there from 2002 to 2003.
Mm-hmm.
The household telephone directory was ceased to be published on January 2019, but you can get a digital copy anytime you like.
You can, yeah. I mean, the size of that yellow pages that he uses later on, the fucking size that Jeff Capes would have struggled to rip one of those apart, wouldn't he?
That was huge. It was huge.
Absolutely massive, and now obviously you get them and there's nothing in them. I'm thinking about taking an advert out in the yellow pages. I don't think you get one through the door anymore, do you?
No.
It's just like Yell.com or something.
What was the blue one you got? There was another one.
There was a business directory phone book.
Thompson's.
Oh, Ring Thompson. Was it a cat? Like a ginger cat?
Aye, something like that. That's so
Fucking
weird.
hell, yeah.
God, gone to the good old days.
Things we've forgotten. That's probably something that will never come up on the podcast again. Thompson Directory.
Thompson Directory.
Yeah, sure. What an age. What an age we lived in, listeners. Yeah. As Shaun leaves, Liz has called to ask him to move the table to 8, but he misses it and we just catch the voicemail. This walk to the shop's good, because we'll see it again tomorrow in the film. Loads of characters, the begging man, the dog walker, and then in the shop there's the groomsman. Newspapers on the counter all claim panic, and he's like reading them, he's a bit confused with it. And then we get like probably our first and only, well, there's maybe 2 jump scares in this, but that's the proper jump scare. And it's Nelson, the owner, slamming his hand down on the thing. Going, no beer for you today, my friend. He's like, oh, it's a bit early for me.
Yeah.
And I thought, I absolutely know. I have been into Nelson's and come out with a massive blue carrier bag of cans. I know I have.
They get you every time. They get you every time.
Because the thing about corner shops is, listeners, I could just be remembering something I remember the age because I seem to buy all my beer from supermarkets now or bars. Is that they would always have special deals on like Red Stripe and that. You always get like either 30% extra free in the can, or it'd be like a special pack price.
Aye, it was always whatever they could find in the cash and carry for the week.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you never got the same thing week in, week out. Yeah.
Never.
Man. Thanks, Naveed. Shaun's on the bus to work with all these other zombified looking passengers. I got a kick out of Zombie Nation. Kerncraft 3000, by the way. Kerncraft 3000, German for nuclear power, is Kerncraft. There you go.
Ooh, mate.
I mean, no techno artist who speaks German can be evil. Released in 1999 and was 99th in the USA.
What?
Number 2 in Ireland, so it was, and the UK, and number 1 in Greece.
Wow.
Greece, because obviously it's a dance hit, isn't it? That summer, everyone's on holiday buying a copy.
Yeah, writing roads, anti-roads.
On 8th of May 2022, W268BB 101.5 in State College, Pennsylvania, it's a radio station, launched their college radio station by playing this song over and over for a week.
What?
Oh, the fucking lols. I tell you what, I would firebomb the fucking place if that was me. But you want to watch out because it's Pennsylvania, and as we know, Dracula's from there.
Yeah. One's bitten.
Let's see if you can survive a petrol bomb, you prick. But he would, wouldn't he? Let's see if you can survive a half-light bomb.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
A medium steak.
Man, I wish I was eating steak.
Me too.
In his shop, the shop he works in, is Foray Electrics. Any idea of the references, John?
From the guy from, is it Dawn of the Day?
Yeah, Ken Foray.
Yeah, Ken Foray. Yeah,
still alive and still doing all the cons and things. They were very, very nearly paid to see him at HorrorCon a few years ago, but I don't want to queue with fat nerds. I'd rather just live in a house with them if it's all right by you.
Yeah, please, but no, because he's done a lot, isn't he?
You know about stuff. All the staff are about 12, by the way, in this shop, and it made me feel a little bit sick. The boss and the assistant manager are both off ill, and as he's doing this meeting, isn't he? He says, as Mr. Sloman always says, "There's no I in team, but there is
pie.
in pie." Meat pie, because meat isn't anagram. Look, I don't know what he's talking about, but
it's so funny.
Noodle gets this call, doesn't he? Little baby Rafe Spall, by the way.
Tiny
little baby.
It done really well, didn't he? Yeah. That was good.
Gets this call, and it goes, "No, I ain't got nothing." He says he's only got Henry. So obviously it's the great thing. It's fantastic. And he said, look, let's not have any phone calls afterwards. Keep your hair on, Grandad. And he said, look, I know you don't want to be here forever. I've got things I want to do with my life.
Yeah,
when?
That was
when.
a good line.
It's just the singular delivery of when. It's utterly perfect. And the problem is, not problem, but I've been working with a 25-year-old this week. He's a lovely lad. I had a really good week with him. He's come over from another part of the district, and I watching this again today for the second time this week. I 100% felt old enough to be this lad's dad, which indeed I am old enough to be.
Wow.
Jim's dad. So yeah, not great. But this is the first. Go on.
It says he was 19 then. It says he was 17 then.
17, yeah.
But he was actually 19.
All right, he was only 19 years old.
And Simon Pegg was 34 and
34?
not 29.
Wow.
Liar. Why must
he's meant to be 20. Why, John? Why must films like us?
I know.
Yeah. This is the first we get of what happens here. What do they point out to him, John?
Oh, they've got red on you.
He's
Your
got red
favourite?
on him. It is my favourite. He's got red
Your
on
favourite?
him. Absolutely. John, how to get red ink out of a shirt? You flush the stain with rubbing alcohol. Sounds hot. Blot the stain. Sounds like a waste of alcohol. Blot the stain with a clean paper towel. Rinse and apply a pre-wash stain remover. And finally, check the ink stain is completely removed. So there you go, listeners. There's your 4-step process. And one fact for us.
Yeah. All that information and me just get one bloody fact.
I know. What a waste of time. What a waste of copy and pasting off the internet. Giving away trade secrets here. Shaun's stepdad comes in, Philip. Shaun's due for dinner this weekend. He reminds him to bring flowers, and we get the second you've got red on you. This is where he has the conversation about. It was a personal. It wasn't personal. It was an emergency. What, like buying your mum some flowers? That's good. He said, "Oh, look, unlike you, I don't find it difficult to keep my life and work separate. Shaun, it's Liz for you." It's another good delivery from this unseen character.
The hand.
Shaun's like, "Oh, Liz from head office. Yes. And Liz does this thing, right, that I think I'd never experienced until now, when she ends a phone call.
By saying something twice?
Not just twice, she says about 100 times, bye-bye. I'd never experienced that until this, and I've heard it so many times now. I'm not suggesting that Shaun of the Dead created this, but it's certainly awoken it to me as something that people do.
Aye, no, they really do. It's awkward.
It's weird. It's like, stop saying bye. Like, how many times am I supposed to say bye? Because you're saying it a million times.
And it makes me feel awkward when I cut the call when they're still saying bye.
Yeah.
Like, bye, and like, bye.
Yeah, fuck it, yeah, see you, mate. Fucking ta-ra. After work, he's buying flowers for his mum. The woman in the shop, again, the delivery, to a wonderful mum, or...
or...
Pow, super mum. Now, I don't know about you, John, but I would get Pow Super Mum.
Oh, God, aye.
In spite of the fact that my mother is neither of these things.
Every day of the week, Pow. Yeah. Pow right in a kisser.
Yes, indeed. In the distance, we see a man grabbing at pigeons until this bus passes by, and when it goes, he's gone. It's one of those things, again, that you kind of notice, but you think you see something, and then you go to have a closer look, and it's not what you thought it was.
Was that Phil Daniels?
Was it?
Loved to feed the pigeons.
he sometimes eats the sparrows too. It gives an enormous sense of being a full zombie.
Zombied.
Walking home, there's a traffic jam and an ambulance attending to the crash. Yvonne shows up. Daisy, of course, from Spaced.
Yeah.
They're friends from whenever, and he remembers he has to book a restaurant and runs home. Her line is, at least one of us made it, isn't it?
Aye.
Yeah,
aye.
We'll come back to that. He runs in, grabs the yellow pages, and calls Fulci.
Yep.
Fulci's, of course, is Luci Fulci, directed loads of Italian horror movies, City of the Living Dead, Zombie 2, and was known as the Godfather of Gore.
Ooh.
Yeah. Some good stuff there, by the way. He also did a lot of kind of like...
demon stuff.
Yeah, and some drama stuff, which is quite interesting. He calls, and it's... the issue is that... Sorry, we just get the last one away. I don't know where this accent's supposed to be from. It's worse than any of mine.
Scary as fuck, isn't it? It's really scary.
And we're going through a list of people that have called. Ed says, well, what do you think? Think about what? I tidied the place up. It doesn't look very tidy. I had a few beers afterwards. It's definitely Rachel coming home to me after a day off. He said, do you want your messages? Yeah, Liz rang about you eating out, and then your mum rang about you going round to eat at hers, and then your mum rang back about me eating her out.
Yeah, I was like,
he's like, what? Man. Wasn't true, that bit. Obviously, he's upset because the issue is they can't go to the restaurant that she wanted to go to. The place that does all the fish. It's what should we do? We've got the Winchester. They don't do food. There's a Breville out the back. John will do you a toasty.
I love a Breville.
Absolutely brilliant.
You know something? It's that good when you name the device after the company that made the first one.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I always call it a Breville. It doesn't matter who makes it. I'll always call it a Breville.
Yeah, me too.
So I looked it up. So they were made in 1974, the year before I was born, big man.
Oh, wow.
It was a huge success, selling 400,000 units in the first year, making Breville a household name. So I'll always, like Hoover, I'll always call it Hoover.
Yeah, of course you do. Even though we've got a Henry. Launched at Breville, the company was launched in 1932 in Sydney, Australia. We all know about the sandwich machines because John's just told us.
Yep.
But they also make Nespresso machines. I fucking love my Nespresso machine. I said I would never ever go from plunge coffee, but it's just so easy. It's just so easy.
Just convenient, isn't it? And tastes nice as well. In
the US, the Toast Witch was the earliest toasted sandwich maker, dating back to before 1920. However, it wasn't patented until the 3rd of March 1925. Invented by Charles Champion, whose other inventions included a corn popping machine for theatres. There you go.
There you go. A theatre.
Theatres, indeed. Liz calls. Shaun explains he didn't book it and suggests the Winchester. Ed's behind him, just creeping behind him, doing that W with his fingers.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's just so good. Such a little bit. I love it. Shaun grabs the flowers and heads to Liz's. David refuses to let him in, so he threatens to climb the wall to the flat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There's loads of grunting and carrying on. He's like, hello, it's me, on the intercom.
I actually forgot he didn't climb up. At first I was like, oh, here he comes. I realised, oh, hang on, he's a lazy bugger. He never done it.
Liz and Shaun argue, hanging out with my friends, the failed actress and a twat. Oh, that's a bit harsh. I didn't call Diana a failed actress. Like the relationship he has with David is fucking rotten. He's horrible to him. And
to the core.
I guess he's not great. But Shaun hasn't been a great boyfriend, is what we learn. David says, I'd say your 9 lives are up, and he takes his glasses off, and Shaun spins around. Get fucked, Four Eyes. He's not wearing his glasses. It is, David. My God, it gets me just in the right fucking bit of comedy. It's so clever comedy.
It just works, doesn't it? It's bang on. It's bang on.
Shaun heads in to see Liz and gives her the flowers. She clocks the cards to her wonderful mum. These are for your mum, aren't they? And he's like, oh, that kind of really uncomfortable comedy he does very well. She says if she doesn't do something, she'll spend every night in the pub drinking herself to death like all those sad old fuckers. What do you mean, do something? And then we see him out in the rain, slammed with the flowers.
Flowers. Oh, poor Shaun.
Shaun heads to the Winchester with Ed, who does his Clyde impression. Now, I liked the Clyde impression, John. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. I was well and truly into it. The jukebox plays "If You Leave Me Now" by Chicago, John.
Yeah.
Who put this on? It's on random.
It's on random.
Again, something I used to say in the pub all the time. "If You Leave Me Now" by Chicago, 1976 hit everywhere. So I'm just going to do number ones. Australia, Canada, Ireland, Set Etchika fucking prawn chot, UK and USA.
USA.
Indeed. They're part of the lock-in. A lock-in, John, if the punishment for them, they're illegal, as once the doors are locked, the pub's licence is no longer in place. So the selling of alcohol is the illegal bit. In 2016, Ian Mobbs of the Clock Pub, I said Clock, Atherstone, West Midlands, was charged £840 for serving alcohol outside of the licensing hours. Now, what Ed does here is some brilliant, the best foreshadowing in the whole thing. And it took me probably about 8 or 9 watches before I knew this. Ed, tomorrow we should keep drinking. Bloody Mary first thing, a bite at the King's Head, couple at the Little Princess, stagger back here, and back at the bar for shots. Now, he covers there
everything.
7 different scenes in it's fantastic. Yeah.
Nice.
It's really, really good. It's so good. Shaun tells Ed what she said about the people in the bar. He said, these are rich, interesting characters. Snake Hips, he's a bigamist, strangled his first wife with a draft excluder and invented the mobile disco. Right. The concept of the mobile disco, listeners, was started in the United Kingdom in the late 1940s when in Boston, Lincolnshire, Ron Diggins built his first Digola.
What?
A mobile disco unit featuring twin 78 RPM turntables. Can you imagine turning up and he's scratching mixing that into a prolonged version of There'll Be Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover.
Giving it the biggins, mate. We're giving it the biggins.
I am not your mobile disco mate.
I am no longer your fellow DJ.
The other woman, the coccicidal maniac, which we know
funny.
out of Hot Fuzz, John, of course.
Aye, yeah.
She starred in the first interracial hardcore loop, Café au lait. Pour vous.
So good, isn't it?
It's great. And John is North London Mafia. Big Al says so. Yeah, but Big Al also says dogs can't look up. No, look, gruff demeanour, handy with a blade, because he's cutting the limes, isn't he? Trophy wife Bernie. Fucking brilliant. They're a right looking couple. By the way, the chap that plays John was a stuntman, which they used to great effect in the later scene. In probably, arguably, the cleverest scene. Yeah,
you like it.
So, what I did do, listeners, is I googled North London Mafia, and I probably shouldn't have done, because I got the following: the Clerkenwell Crime Syndicate, also known as the Addams Family or the A-Team.
Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
An English criminal organisation, allegedly one of the most powerful in the United Kingdom. Media reports have credited them with a wealth of up to £200 million. Ooh. Founded in the 1980s by Terry, Tommy and Patrick Adams. How much did parents hate Patrick?
I know.
They didn't give him one beginning with a T.
Yep.
It's like the Roonies. They've got like Kai... something, and then one beginning with they all begin with a K except for the last one that begins with a C. You're like, what's that? Didn't have enough K's left in your fucking naming babies books, you thick prick.
That wins a right C.
That said, she's very smart. Listeners, I recommend you go on Disney and watch that the Colleen Rooney Agatha Christie thing.
Yeah.
She comes across as very fucking clever in that. She's not that clever. She married to him. Anyway, they have apparently been involved in the following, John. Not the Roonies, by the way. Before we get fucking taken to court by Colleen, because she's got history. The Clerkenwell Crime Syndicate, racketeering. I don't even know what that is. Drug trafficking, murder, extortion, bribery, pimping, bookmaking, money laundering, human trafficking, smuggling, fraud, arms trafficking, and theft.
There you go. To name a few.
to name one or two criminal activities. There's a banging and groaning at the door. Sorry, we're closed. As the boys leave, they're singing White Lines. And they spot a couple necking on. What's the matter, love? Ain't you had your tea? Which I love the fact that he says tea instead of like dinner. It was like the most northern thing. I loved it. They do that get higher baby bit and the zombie in the background grunting. This was on all the TV shows, this bit, wasn't it? Do you remember? This was like kind of part of the clip. And I think maybe in the trailer as well. He didn't say bass or freeze. What a tit. It's good. White Lines, when originally released in 1983 on Sugar Hill Records, John, it was credited to Grandmaster and Melly Mel. By this time, Grandmaster Flash had already stopped touring with Mel and was suing Sugar Hill Records for back royalties. Fucking cool. It's an actual Melly Mel song. It was covered by Duran Duran in 1995, and I really wish someone had told them, don't do it. Because I listened to that today, and it's fucking garbage.
Is it bad?
It's so bad. It's so bad that I loved this song in 95 when I was a teenager. I was really into my kind of like, certainly my early 80s rap.
Yeah.
But I had no memory of that Duran Duran. I'd never heard that until today at all. And I was into rap at the time. But I guess there wasn't really anywhere to listen to rap on the radio.
Nah,
back
not
then.
really.
If you were lucky, you'd get like a pirate radio station which just about got to our town from Nottingham. Do you know what I mean?
What position did it get to the UK singles chart?
I don't know, John. I don't know.
17.
Oh, very good work. Fantastic. Yeah. There you go. Not the Duran Duran one, of course.
No.
I assume that didn't chart.
No, it's news to me. I never even knew the thing.
Good. I wish I'd been able to keep it that way. Back in the house, they're playing electro really loudly. Pete throws the record out of the window. It's 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, and I've got to go into work early because everyone in my fucking department is fucking ill. So can you see why I'm so fucking angry? Fuck yeah. That's good. Ed calls Pete a prick, and Pete goes at both of them. I assume it was Liz that did the dumping. Pete explains he got mugged by a crackhead that bit him. Why would they bite you? Another great delivery. I didn't stick around to ask. It's good. And this is the next time I see him, he's dead.
No.
Very good. He's almost like the narrator, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Look at it that way. Fuck, I've never considered that. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Shaun listens to his voicemails and scribbles on the fridge before passing out in the kitchen. On the board next morning, we see he wrote, "Get Liz back, see Mum, sort life out." It's quite good. Eddie's asleep on the sofa. Want anything from the shop?
Cornetto. Somebody said that to me when I was camping once, and it was really sunny. I was like, man, how am I going to get you a Cornetto? And then I realised what he'd done to me. I was like, that's actually quite clever.
I used to say it. Me and Rachel used to say it all the time. We still sometimes do, but actually, the vast majority of the time, she actually wants something from the shop. Cornetto, listeners, means little horn in Italian. Ice cream history lesson incoming, John Boy. For a long time, the idea of selling frozen ice cream cones had been impractical, as the ice cream would soak into the moist cone during the manufacturing process and make it soggy. In 1959, Spezia, an Italian ice cream manufacturer based in Naples, overcame the problem by insulating the inside of the waffle cone from the ice cream with a coating of oil, sugar and chocolate.
Nice.
That's good, isn't it, that?
Clever guys.
In the year 2000, not much has changed, but we live under ice cream, the Waltz Cornetto commercial was ranked 23rd in Channel 4's UK poll of the 100 greatest ads. Our advert for our live show later this year did not make it into that list. Disappointing.
Oh, what
a bunch of pricks. Especially after all the fucking... And the amount of sitting around the table writing that we did. And the takes, indeed, John.
And the takes.
The takes. The walk to the shop this time is much quieter. There's loads of stuff strewn about and no people. In the shop, there's no Nelson and no papers. But he goes to the fridge, doesn't he? He opens the fridge and there's like a bloody handprint on it.
Handprints on it, yeah.
By the way, when he's walking out, he does this little slip, little comedy slip, which no one was expecting him to do, and he did himself. It wasn't part of the
really?
thing. Yeah, he did himself. And it's fucking brilliant.
It's perfect.
But it looks like any second he could break his ankle there.
Yeah. It's really well done. I thought it was maybe like he slipped on the blood, which obviously he's probably done it himself, thinking I'll slip on something. But it was fantastic.
Yeah. It was very, very good.
That was good. Very, very good.
All very good. He's like, Nelson, I owe you 15p, which is a classic going to the shop that you can get away with.
Okay,
as he's on the way back, we see loads of zombie people and all that kind of stuff. But Shaun is so hungover he doesn't notice. Ever felt like that, John?
Well, what day is it today? Aye.
I know that.
Although I've never tried to open a can of juice with my teeth, though.
That, by the way, that gave me the fucking fear, because I would break a tooth. The way my teeth are, I would break a tooth. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, that's fear unlocked, isn't it? Fear unlocked.
Yeah, exactly. In the house, Eddie's looking out the window. There's a girl in the garden. It's Mary from the opening credits. She was serving customers at Asda, if you remember, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a checkout operator in the UK, the average wage is £1,900, £575 a year, which doesn't sound particularly bad, but it's just the worst job, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a fucking awful job that I wouldn't wish on anybody else. Or supermarkets can force you to do it yourself these days.
Again.
Which I don't mind so much because it means less interaction with another human being. But then they have to come over and take the things off the booze that you've got. Otherwise, when you walk out. The amount of times I'll buy a bottle of booze and it's got the collar on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they forget to take it off, and I forget to tell them to take it off, and I just walk out, and then the security guy's like that. What's fucking wrong with you? What are you nicking? Yeah, you got a receipt? No, because it asks you, do you want a receipt? No.
No, I know. I'm about to go, but I know what you mean. It's up in there. You go, oh, what one did you get it for? Take Shaun.
Here's my app. Here's my app. There, you can see I've spent 70 quid. There's not 70 quid's worth of stuff in here when you take off the booze. There's only 2 quid's worth of food.
And the rest of
quid's worth of booze. Classic me.
Classic plants.
They think she's drunk, but she's actually a zombie. She lunges for Shaun, knocks him over, and as Shaun's fighting him off, Ed, instead of helping, grabs this instant camera, takes a photo. Fucking instant cameras,
double
man.
Click.
That took me back.
Double click, eh? Oh, Jesus.
Shaun pushes her off and onto this broken clothes whirligig post thing. She just gets up and we see the boys through the hole in her gut, which is mwah.
It looks really, really good.
Yeah, perfection. She's joined by an even bigger monster, this huge guy.
He's huge.
Yeah, and the boys head inside. They sit and watch TV with Sky News telling the country's in chaos, just as a zombie comes through the open door, of course. The thing I've not mentioned, because one of the bits I just missed out, was they keep leaving the door open. Pete's unhappy about it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it looks like a nice street and everything, but I wouldn't leave my door open.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave your door open where you live, John.
Oh, never that. Doorbell. Although later on it transpires that potentially it's him, it's Shaun, it's leaving the door open.
Yeah, well it is. Yeah, absolutely. Because when he comes back in, it was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's him.
And obviously later on, yes, you're right. The zombie comes in through the open door. Rachel's favourite line of the whole film is, "He's got an arm off." Anytime someone loses an arm in anything,
that's the Grimsman failure on.
It is, yeah.
And the scene in the shop, he's stood behind him, so you don't see the arm, but he's a real amputee.
Oh, is he really? Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Good stuff. By the way, you'd think I would remember all this. Listeners, I got a lot of my facts from a book Rachel bought me a couple of Christmases ago called You've Got Red on You by Clark Collis, which is kind of like the history of the making of and all of this. And I did delve into it for a little bit this week, but because we were doing such a quick turnaround on this particular episode, I didn't have a chance to go back to the start and read it. So there's some really good kind of behind-the-scenes facts. And I feel like I knew that one because they interview that guy in the book. Collis interviews that guy in the book, but it's right towards the kind of the beginning, and that was like last year I read that bit, so I had completely forgotten that was a thing. So thank you for that good bit of fact. Ed kills him by smashing an ashtray on his head. Did you see his head go? It's a good line. He's got all the best lines. Just then, the zombies in the garden smash through the window. And the guy on the news is saying the attackers can be stopped by removing the head or destroying the brain. So the boys head outside and start lobbing the contents of the kitchen at the zombies. Of course, it does fuck all because it's like a toaster and if they had a Breville, that's much heavier.
Yeah, exactly.
That. It's like toasting iron to the skull. Yeah.
And the squeaky toy at one point as well.
Yeah, I did wonder. A mug tree, all sorts. And then eventually he throws the basket. It's in. Ed picks up the record that Pete had thrown out the window the night before, and it hits the big one in the face, causing him to be pushed back. And he says, "Oh, that's the second album I ever bought." It's like, okay. It's the second album you ever bought, John?
Now, that's why I call music the very first one.
Oh, right, wow.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I'll be honest with you, I think the first album I ever bought, but it wasn't really me that bought it, it was my mum that had the money for it, was, I'm sure it was Michael Jackson's Thriller, and we bought it for Prestos.
Wow, from Prestos. There you go. There's memory unlocked.
There you go, Prestos. Because I remember going home and every Sunday we'd listen to Michael Jackson's Thriller. I think my dad was a big, massive Vincent Price fan.
Oh, was he? Right, okay, that's fair enough. You can tell the difference in age between us, because the second record I ever bought, or album I ever bought, was Michael Jackson's Bad.
There you go.
On cassette, there you go. Which I personally, I think I'm the only person that does think this. I personally think it's a better album than Thriller, but what do I know?
Oh,
yeah, I think every single song is a fucking single. It's great. In fact, I think every song was a single, possibly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They throw Sade, the Batman soundtrack, and Blue Monday. Right.
Yeah.
So, a couple of little facts on that for you, listeners. The first pressing of Blue Monday, £75 at betteronvinyl.com. Now, I was always under the impression that would cost me 500 quid, so I've never ever looked at it. If I'd realised I'd get one as cheap as that, I would have done it years ago, being the New Order fan I am. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my top buys. Only 60,000 were printed on the first pressing. The Batman soundtrack, John, that sold 4.4 million worldwide. Jesus. So much more than Blue Monday. But get out the way for this final beast of a record, Lizzie's copy of Sade's Diamond Life.
Right. 4
times platinum in the UK, the US and Australia, and it has sold an estimated 16 million copies worldwide.
Fucking hell, you must be doing alright, yeah?
Her love is king.
Yeah.
Indeed. A record is certainly king. It's not something I'm that interested in. Batman soundtrack's alright. It's got a couple of songs.
Nice.
It's far from the best Prince album, but then he released a lot of shit as well, didn't he?
Yeah, it just wrote a lot of music at one point, didn't he?
The guy, and mate, there's still hours upon hours, probably hundreds of hours of stuff still sat in that fucking vault, waiting for whoever owns it to release it. Just get it all out there. Just throw everything at the fucking wall and see what sticks, guys.
Yeah. Slap some AI on that and get everybody's back up.
They go to the shed and grab a spade and a cricket bat. And they don't half go for it here, by the way. Absolutely splattered. We see the blood rising up. And we get the third "You've Got Red on You" as he's eating his strawberry cornetto. It is good. The TV suggests that if you know anybody bitten, then isolate them. They think of Pete shouting up the stairs gently, "Pete! Pete! Pete! Oi, prick!" He's not home. He's good.
His car's still there.
His car's there. They're going to take his car. Shaun calls Liz. She's engaged. Oh, that was quick. And then Mum calls. Some men tried to get in the house. They were a bit bitey. Philip's been bitten. And this is the "We're coming to get you, Barbara," which, of course, as we know, is a reference to the original Night of the Living Dead. Yeah.
Did you notice something about the bloody car, the Renault Megane?
Oh, go on.
The bloody logo kept disappearing. And I double checked.
Off the front?
It was me. Off the front. The Renault badge kept disappearing. So on the instant it was there. And so I went on Reddit and tried to get a boat mate, but nobody knows why it happened.
Wow.
Yes. So a couple of scenes it was there, a couple of scenes it wasn't.
Shame. You went on Reddit to try and find that out, and you came back hating women.
I came back. Exactly.
Astonishing behaviour, John.
But Reddit people were the only bloody people that noticed it.
By the way, we've just launched our Reddit 100 Things We Learned from Film page in the last week, ironically enough, and I fucking love women and men. I don't give a shit. I love you all. There's a bit where Shaun's ringing the fire brigade with mist. He's like, "Oh, ring the police, ring the ambulance. It's engaged. Ring the fire brigade. It's all one number." Which I thought was quite good. So, what other countries use 999, John? Kenya, St Helena, the Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Somalia, and Qatar.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Germany.
A lot of countries use 112, such as Germany. There you go.
Yeah, 9. Yes.
Very good. No man who dials German could be. That doesn't really work.
Evil.
This is the plan bit. We all love the plan bit. Again, we saw this on TV loads as well. Take Pete's car to Mum's. Take care of Philip. Sorry, Philip. Grab Mum over to Liz's place. Wait for this to all blow over. And there's like, no, I want to be somewhere familiar. I want to know it's secure and I want to be able to smoke. Okay. Take Pete's cars to Mum. Deal with Philip. Sorry, Philip. Grab Mum, over to Lizzie's, and then back here for a cup of tea and wait for this all to blow over. Perfect, which I haven't thought about perfect in a while.
Perfect.
No, it's not secure here. Oh, and it's a real mess. Okay, take take car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, take Mum, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for this all to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold? Yeah, boy! The clank. Spaced. I love the clank. It's great.
You love spaced.
Absolutely fantastic. Before they leave, Shaun heads for a wee. As he's washing his hands, he spots Pete in the shower, but it's Zombie Pete.
Yep.
As they leave, Ed sets off the alarm for the car, and they get surrounded by Zeds. They speed off and run a bloke over. They head back to check on the mangled corpse, but it's a zombie, and Shaun's line is, "Oh, thank God for that." As they pull up to Shaun's mum's, Ed sees Philip's Jag. Shaun warns him off it. "I put half a Mars bar in the glove box once, and he chased me around the garden with a bit of wood." Inside, we get the fourth "You've got red on you." So what better time, John, to do a quiz for you? Yeah, absolutely.
Me.
Now, this quiz is sponsored by our patrons, Biggie, Oodles, Gadget and Candy of Modern Escapism Podcast, who apparently hate our impromptu quizzes, which, by the way, lads, are considerably well-researched, like everything on this podcast. Stig didn't get a mention because he's already had a mention, but now he's got another mention. Fuck. How do I even these things out? Anyway, John.
Overstigged. We're overstigged.
Overstimulated. Right. So, this, John, is called You've Got Red on You or Dead on You. Right? Okay. So, I'm going to read out 5 colours, and you need to tell me if they are red on you, or if they are not dead on you. Okay. So I just need to know if they're red or not. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, number 1, vermilion.
Red.
Correct. Number 2, Luke's lightsaber, a real colour.
Oh, that's bullshit though, because it's lightsaber's no red though, is it?
What colour is it? Just out of interest, you don't get a point for it.
I think it's green.
It is green, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Spanish carmine.
Red on you.
Fantastic, yeah. Carolina. Oh, Carolina. Hold on. As soon as I read it out, I've written this down already, and I didn't think of that. And then as soon as I read it out, we both thought it. Carolina.
Carolina sounds red.
John, blue.
Oh.
And finally, hibiscus.
Red.
It's red. Hibiscus.
Yeah.
See, we're both doing it now. We're both getting stuck on it. Mum says they have to, you got 4 out of 5. Well done.
Yep.
Mum says they have to wait for the doctor. Philip's fine. He's run it under the cold tap. And he had his jabs when they went to the Isle of Wight. Right. So, 2 things. Burns are what you should run under a cold tap, not the poet, to cool the injury down and decrease inflammation. All right. Jabs for the Isle of Wight. So I googled, do you need jabs for the Isle of Wight? And I found visittheisleofwight.co.uk, which has an FAQ bit.
Right.
Is the Isle of Wight part of the UK? The Isle of Wight is an English island and county located only a few miles off the south coast. Not only is it part of the UK, it's England's largest island. Many people wonder, what's the currency and will they accept English money? The Isle of Wight uses pounds sterling, with some establishments even accepting euros. Oh, how forward-thinking of the Isle of Wight,
wow,
isn't it?
Look at these guys go.
Do you need a passport to visit the island? You do not need a passport to travel here, and you don't need a visa either. That's what makes a holiday to the island so easy. Just remember, if you're an international traveller, you'll need a passport to enter the UK first.
Just to get over.
And I certainly wouldn't recommend it coming here. Yeah. Do I need a GB or UK car sticker if travelling from England? No, you do not need to display a sticker when travelling to the Isle of Wight. However, you're more than welcome to buy an Isle of Wight sticker while you're over here.
Fuck off.
Fuck off the Isle of Wight tourist board, you bunch of smug prits. Nothing on there about jabs. So I'm going to email them in the morning. I'm going to ask them. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you need your jabs to go to the Isle of Wight. I'm pretty sure it's a shithole. I went twice as a kid.
At least tetanus.
Yeah.
At least.
But for all the badgers. Oh, that's TB, isn't it? Are you suggesting that the sea is like the beach is just covered in rusty nails and glass?
Yes.
I mean, it is in Blackpool, so why not there? Burnt Island, places like that. Bill Nighy and Penelope Wilton, by the way, are amazing here. Penelope Wilton is phenomenal and vastly, vastly underrated. The role was originally offered to Helen Mirren, John. She turned it down because it wasn't funny enough.
Oh, really?
Fuck off, she's hilarious. Hello! Every time, like, she's not paying attention. She's like, oh, hello. It's brilliant every time. We learned that Shaun and Philip have had a pretty poor relationship. As a man with a wonderful stepdad that I didn't appreciate until I was a grown man, I feel that. Shaun leads them outside, and the car is wrapped around a lamppost. I pranged it. You were parked.
You're parked. That's so good.
Philip then gets attacked by hoodie-clad clubbers from the opening titles, and Shaun sees them off and puts them all in a car. Ed flees the situation with the music blaring, and they get to Liz's. Shaun can't get out. Philip, have you still got the child locks on? Safety first, Shaun. Child safety lock is on the rear edge of each rear door. You must set the child safety lock separately on each door. Turn the key clockwise to switch the child lock on and counterclockwise to switch it off.
There you go.
Fantastic. I used to have the child locks on my my Ford, and we had people in the back so rarely, I just completely forgot to take them off because it's a second-hand car.
Aye. Who does that? Yeah.
He heads up to the flat through the window, climbing up like he couldn't before. This is obviously what you were thinking of. I've come to take you somewhere safe. Well, we were safe before you brought them here, because all the zombies didn't follow
true, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to take them somewhere secure and safe, somewhere on the ground, and they go for it, oddly. They fight their way through the zombies with a mix of rubbish weapons, hockey stick, chunk of driftwood, and an umbrella.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all pile in the car. 4 in the back really reminds me of getting in a car in the 80s.
Aye, boy and mates, everyone just crammed in.
Yeah. Philip talks to Shaun. He only wanted Shaun to be strong and not give up because you lost your dad. I always loved you, and I always thought you had it in you to do well. You needed someone to support and motivate you. I thought it could be me. Take care of your mum and be a good boy. And I was like, fucking hell. I think this is the first time I've watched this since my dad died. It was not good.
It gets you right in the fuse, doesn't it?
Phil dies. Mummy's dead. No, he isn't. Because he's a zombie.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he's
zombie.
a Zed.
They can't get out for the child locks. When they do finally get out, they trap Phil in there with the music blaring. It's like, there is nothing left of the man you loved in that car now. Nothing. Until he turns off the cassette in the car. And then goes, oh, he let powers down, doesn't he? With relief. He's like, let's walk, shall we? That's really good.
That's so good, isn't it? So good. Even talking about this film makes me want to watch it again.
I know, and I've only watched it this afternoon. Yeah, exactly. They head down this cut, past snake hips being eaten by zombie kids. They all run, wondering where all the royalties for the mobile disco are going to go.
Yeah.
Probably to Vera Lynn. They all run into Yvonne and her version of the film. Better cast, John, of this?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yes and no.
Yes and no. Shearsmith's great. Freeman's fantastic. Tamsin Gregg. I mean, they're all great. They're all great. But yeah, I don't want to kind of play them off one another.
Yeah. Matt Lucas.
Matt Lucas and Julia Deakin, Marsha from Space. Hello, Brian. She's surprised when they say they're going to the Winchester. The Winchester's just over there. He says, what, over the 20 garden fences? What's the matter, David? Never taken a shortcut before. And the collapsing of the fence.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's the opposite of Hot Fuzz, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's, for me, having watched and loved this film before I went to see Hot Fuzz, and then going to the cinema and seeing that in Hot Fuzz, you know the bit in they do the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood pointing at the screen with his beer in his hand.
Yeah.
That is how I was in the cinema at Hot Fuzz, pointing at that, going, "That's the fucking." He did the fence bit, but he did it better this time.
Yeah.
Mum spots a zombie in a house. I'm sure Jill and Derek live round here. Fucking useless. Over the fence, Shaun hears a scream, and it's Mum being harassed by the zombie. He jumps onto this little kind of trampoline, doesn't he? Mini tramp.
Yeah.
Does a somersault. It's fantastic. I don't think Jill and Derek do live here. Mini trampoline, John. The Opti Mini Fitness Tramp. 50 quid at Argos. He starts taking on this this zombie, and he defeats it with a swing ball set. doesn't he? Hitting him with the ball at first. The girls are like, use the swing ball set. And great idea. And he tries to hit it with a tennis ball. It does nothing. And then he turns around and they're giving it the big jab it in the guts.
Spear.
And he spears it into a tree. How strong must he be, by the way,
to
get it into this tree? If you want one of those, Swing Ball Turbo at Argos, £35. I just basically sat on the Argos website for 10 minutes.
Swing ball, remember that? Jesus.
I do. Sean heads up this child's slide. I'm going to check if the coast is clear. And he goes up every single step, and the little tiny steps, and it's so perfect, perfectly comedic. It's great. I'm going to check if the coast's clear. Is it clear? No. How many? Lots. Again, the delivery is... Oh. Davs is complaining, and Di says to him, stop it, we won't get anywhere by moaning, which gives Shaun an idea for how to pass by them to pretend to be zombies. He's looking at the other zombie. And I don't think, in all the times I've watched it, and we said this about Hot Fuzz, every time you see it, there's still something new.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever realised that her saying we won't get anywhere by moaning gave him the idea. And I've seen this film probably close to about 30, 40 times.
Right.
And I never realised that. Or maybe I did at the beginning and I've forgotten that I realised. You know what I mean? You don't know.
You've watched it that many times.
Yeah,
you picked up on new things that you forget the old things.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Di's coaching them on how to be a zombie. They're mostly rubbish. Shaun, of course, is brilliant. Who died and made you king of the zombies? It's quite good. I'll do it on the night is also like, this is the night.
I'll do it on the night. It was so good.
You're sorrowful, you're mournful, like a drunk who's lost a bet. Is a brilliant Lucy Davis line. She's so good, and I know that Sabrina show wasn't great. R.I.P. that kid that died on the motorcycle the other week, by the way, that cousin. But Lucy Davis as one of the aunts, Aunt Zelda, or whichever one the other one is. She's perfect in it. She's really good. Miranda, everybody's good in that, but I just don't think it's a great show. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Everybody that they've got in it is really good. But Sabrina don't do any magic, as Joe said the other day. She just don't do any magic.
No, which is pointless.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. By the by. And I think she's probably about 30 now. She's about as much of a teenager as you are.
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. We see them make it past loads of a throng of these bastards to the pub. Did you spot Tyres from Spaced, by the way, the bike courier?
Yeah.
You lucky people, oi! And these Skullet twins, by the way.
I know, that was weird, wasn't it?
Twins, Bezel. Sean's trying to get in the pub. He's whispering through the door. It's Shaun and Ed, you know us. We do the quiz in here. So good. Ed's phone goes, and he starts talking again to Noodle.
Noodle.
And he just basically knocks out his phone, and you hear the phone smash on the ground as well.
God,
well, obviously it wasn't a Nokia 3310.
No, that was one of those clamshell flip ones, wasn't it? The rubbish ones.
I've spent my entire life sticking my neck out for you, and all you do is fuck it up. And that's when the zombies all see them. Davs throws a fucking bin through the window, which, by the way, he wouldn't get away with now because it would be double glazed, and it was just a single pane of glass. It was also probably sugar glass, wasn't it? Let's be fair.
No, but still though.
Yeah. Sean's idea is to distract them while the gang climb through the window. He's like, "It's a running buffet. Come and get it." It's good. Inside, it's empty.
All you can eat.
Yeah, all you can eat. The gang sit waiting for Shaun. The power's off. Das, how can you put your faith in a man whose idea of a romantic night spot and an impenetrable fortress are the same thing? Mwah! It's brilliant. Because that's me. Ed gets the drinks in. Das is angry about this and he starts throwing the snacks around. Mini cheddars, twiglets, hog lumps. Shaun appears and grabs the hog lumps out of the air. I gave them the slip. They're not all that. It's really good. Mini cheddars, John. 6 packets at Tesco for £1.75.
What?
Twiglets, 200-gram sharing tub, £2 at Big Asda.
Love them or hate them.
Yeah, do you like twiglets?
I'm alright with them.
Yeah, they're one of those where, you get them for Christmas and then by the time you've had a handful, you're like, oh, I've got a whole fucking tub to finish it. 200-gram tub to finish here. In fact, I think we might still have a tub of mouldy twiglets in the cupboard from Christmas.
Did they crack inside your mouth if you eat too
They
many
do.
of them with
Yeah,
salt?
they do.
Jesus.
My question that I think we probably all want answered, listeners, is what the fuck is a Twiglet? It's a baked wheat biscuit covered in yeast extract. Sounds fucking delightful, doesn't it? Was invented in 1929 by a French biscuit maker J. Rondelin.
What?
And they're made in Liverpool. No, they're made in Aintree.
The pew.
Twiglets. I'll have a Twiglet on my toast. I don't know. That's upsetting somebody, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's upsetting somebody. Twiglet on toast.
The whole cast of Brookside.
Cilla Black's corpse. Cilla Black's zombified corpse. Mate, I'd fucking shoot her in the face given half the chance. Fuck a doodle doo. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, baby.
Later on, and many drinks in, Shaun's trying to get Ed to do Clyde. I'm not performing Monkey is pretty good. Clyde John, real name Manis, was nominated for an American Comedy Award for Best Animal Actor in 1981.
What?
Yeah, and died at the age of 38 in the year 2001.
Oh,
So Manis didn't get to see Ed's impression of him.
that's a
sad.
shame.
Yeah. The streetlights come on and Shaun heads to the breakers, trying the door to the flat upstairs. It's locked. He flips the light on, including the light outside the back door where there's loads of zombies waiting by it. And is this what you meant, John, by he leaves the door open?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Leave
point.
the door open. Right. It's
In the bar, Liz gives Ed a quid as Shaun returns. They followed me. Well, we'll just have to be extra quiet then, won't we? And then just Ed hits the jackpot on the fruity, doesn't he?
Oh, God, aye. Jesus.
And that attracts all the zombies from outside battering on the windows. And here comes John the landlord. Jukebox comes on random with Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I love the plan. David, kill the Queen. What? So that's who did it. The music. Oh, right, okay.
No, it's a brilliant scene.
It's really good. It's really well done. I had a great time with it. Don't Stop Me Now by Queen from the album Jazz. Love the magazines, hate the music. Earpiece is in for this scene, by the way, so that they could listen to the music while they were doing the moves.
Oh, that's good.
It was number 37 in Japan, so you might say it was big in Japan. 15th in Hungary and 13th in the Czech Republic. It was 3 times platinum in Portugal, Spain and Italy. Shaun grabs the pool cues. Okay, John, it's time at the bar. And it's brilliant because they're hitting him to the beat of the music.
Aye.
David fucks the fuses and attracts even more zombies. Why is Queen still on? We have a situation. I know! It's again great delivery. Di throws darts at John and misses him. Shaun gives her the idea to do it again. She throws one and hits him right in the head as well.
Right in the head. Oh, God, aye.
And actually, the more I think about it, that would surely do you, wouldn't it, if it hits you in the right bit?
Well, it's like ID. That was the same thing. Made they threw the dart in the crowd and it stuck right in the
yeah.
guy's head. I'm like, Jesus. Aye, that would do
mate, I
some
haven't thought about
damage.
ID in a while. It's a great movie. Shagwell Army. Ed throws the rifle from above the bar to Shaun, who uses it to batter John into the jukebox. Why didn't you just shoot him? For the final time, it's not loaded, and he fires it. Fucking bang. I knew it. Big Al was right. Yeah, but dogs can't look up. Can they, John?
Yeah.
Of course they can. I bet you've got your dogs to look up today anyway.
Yeah.
Look up to you, don't they? Out of respect and the fact you're a big cunt.
And the fact that, exactly. Aye. I double checked that gun as well, by the way.
All right, yeah.
So apparently, because everybody was saying it was the same make and model as the one they used in Night of the Living Dead, it turns out it wasn't. So
nice.
the model they used is a Winchester 1866 called a Yellow Boy, whereas the one they used in Night of the Living Dead was a model 1894.
All right. Oh.
So somebody lied to me.
Somebody on Reddit is lying to you.
No, it wasn't Reddit. That wasn't
right,
Reddit.
okay.
No, I only went for that one fact.
Good. Shaun takes control. There's shells behind the bar. He says, as Bertrand Russell said, cooperation is the only thing that will redeem mankind. Was that for beer, Matt? Yeah, Guinness Extra. Okay, I won't tell anyone. It's sweet. Liz learns that Barbara's been bitten and the zombies start piling in. Shaun is a terrible shot, but only manages to take a few down. when Ed's giving him the same instructions that he was giving Ed on Time Splitters at the
start.
start.
Yep.
Great,
right,
great.
Top left.
Yeah,
top left.
Yeah. That's it. Reload. And they're counting them, aren't they? And he's like, we've got 15 bullets. Call them shells. I'd already written shells at that point because I always think of that. When I'm writing anything to do with shotgun, I always write shells.
Shells.
Liz grabs Shaun and everyone except David, who's been given the gun, and runs over to Mum. We learn that she's been bit, Barbara. It's been a funny sort of day, hasn't it? Again, it's so... the perfect delivery on everything.
Yeah.
Probably better than Helen Mirren could have ever been.
So.
I think she gets it more than she did. Mum dies, and Daft cocks the gun and points it at Mum. We get this Mexican standoff of Shaun, Ed, and Di, all with bottles at necks. Di goes, "This isn't fair," and Ed gives him her bottle to put at Shaun's neck. Thank you. It's really good. The line is, "You're the one that's gone from a chartered accountant to Charlton Heston." "I'm not a chartered accountant." "Well, you look like one." Liz de-escalates the situation just as Mum gets back up. Shaun takes the gun, and John...
Blammo!
Blammo indeed, my friend. David goes to leave, and Diane stops him. He edges towards the window, and he's about to apologise to Shaun, and he gets grabbed through the window. They grab his legs, and the zombies have got the top of him, and they just fucking rip him apart.
Yeah, that's Day of the Dead, right on the back.
It is. It's perfect, isn't it? It's so good. It looks absolutely amazing. Again, because it's a proper effect, because it's not a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
Diane runs out, doesn't she, chasing after what's left of him?
Aye, yeah. I don't know what she was thinking. She just literally opened the door and just started running out. You don't really see what happened to her.
There's a I don't know if you've got this on, ever had this on DVD. I had to hunt out my Blu-ray because what we were watching it on the other night wasn't working today. So I hunted out the Blu-ray and I didn't watch any of the extras, but I've seen all the extras 2 or 3 times each. But there's like a kind of a cartoon version of what happened out of the scenes. So when Shaun gives them the slip, there's a kind of like a cartoon version of that narrated by the actor. It's really good. But there's a bit of what happens to her after she's gone out there. And apparently, I think the line is, because again, I've not seen it for ages, listeners, so forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but the line is, I ran away from the zombies and I hid up a tree, living for sustenance off David's leg. While I was up there, it's but again, because it's in Lucy Davis's voice, it's just so sweet. Again, it's really funny. Anyway, there's also a bit about Ed after they've left. So after the kind of between the end of the film and kind of the prologue at the very end about what happened to Ed and Zombie Ed. Spoilers for a 20-year-old film.
I know.
God, I feel fucking old.
No, it's really because it doesn't feel that long at all, does it?
No, it doesn't at all. As the pub is now overrun, Ed gets bitten by both Bernie and Pete. Fuck a doodle do. And Pete gets shot. It's one of the very few decent shots that Shaun does in this. And Pete's exploding head was bits of watermelon.
Oh, was it?
They used bits of watermelon for that. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
We're nearly there, listeners. We're coming to the very, very claws of the film. They dive behind the bar and set fire to it using the flaming spirits. Heading down to the cellar, Shaun counts the shells, 2. What about Ed? There's only 2 shells. I don't mind being eaten. He's like sopping up his blood with bar mats, isn't
bar mats, yeah, so gross.
He says, I don't think I have it in me to shoot my flatmate, my mum, and my girlfriend in the same evening. He says, what makes you think I've taken you back? You don't want to die single, do you? That's it. I've changed my mind. I would like to be shot. It's good. Shaun spots the control for the lift up to the streets. So they go to leave Ed, and Shaun apologises for shouting at him. Ed apologises too. But again, I'll stop doing them when you stop laughing.
You stop laughing, yeah.
Yeah. She says, love you, Ed. He's like, thanks. I love you too, man. Gay. Which Rachel does say to me quite a lot when I tell her I love her. Out on the street, Shaun and Liz are surrounded, and there's a couple of wagons of soldiers show up and start blasting the place up. By the way, none of these zombies get hit in the head.
Yeah.
They all get shot in the fucking chest.
Body. Yeah, yeah.
Torso shots.
Absolute waste of bullets. Waste of bullets.
And Yvonne is there too. Is Yvonne in the army now? Whoa. Like she's
in the army.
What's she doing there? So I'm glad somebody made it. Much later, in fact 6 months later, from Z Day, as we learn, we see zombie Rafe Spall moving some shopping trolleys, which I kind of liked.
Like Bud.
Very much like Bud.
The trained zombie. Is it Day of the Dead?
Day of the Dead. Yeah, I need to go back and watch those again. I'm pretty sure there must be 4K restorations of those now. I need to get all over. To push trolleys, John, according to Jubal.co.uk. Nope, me either. The average rate in the UK as of February was £10.79 an hour, which is 420 quid a week, or £1,819 a month.
Right.
You couldn't pay me to do it, but you could pay Winston in Still Game to do it. Remember that episode?
Oh, yeah. Oh, funny.
And as he's flipping the channels, there's also an episode of Trisha. Listeners, remember Trisha?
Jesus.
A woman stays married to a zombie husband.
That takes you back, doesn't it?
It fucking right it does. Trisha ran from 1998 to 2004 on ITV and 05 to 2010 on Channel 5. Astonishingly.
She got her money's worth out of that, didn't she?
She certainly did. Liz and Shaun live together. The plan is to get the papers, head to the Phoenix for a roast, which I'm going to assume is the new name for the Winchester, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking so,
Phoenix from the Flames?
Yeah, from the Flames, yeah.
And he says, okay, I'm just going to nip to the shed first. Okay. And he goes into the shed, and who's there?
Oh, little Ed.
Zombie Ed playing...
Still got wood.
He has still got wood. Yeah, I bet he fucking stinks. But he's still playing Time Splitters. As player 2 has joined the game. Which, again, I was into, except Ed tries to bite him and Shaun tells him off. It's so funny. His little face when he's getting told off is really good. And that is the film. John, do you have any more facts?
Just a couple. Well, I can buy you one of these zombie t-shirts off of Redbubble for $19 if you want one.
Which one? The I've Got Wood?
No, Zombie Aid.
Oh, can you really?
Martin.
Oh, yeah, Chris Martin's in it, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The key difference between an accountant and a chartered accountant is that the latter is typically of a higher quality of expertise and is a member of a professional body. And working titles were founded in 1984 and gave us such gems as Bridget Jones's Diary and Johnny English. That's it.
Fantastic, good stuff. Made £40 million off of a £6 million budget. Fucking bad that, was it?
That's all right, yeah.
Edgar Wright's mum calls him Pickle. I think that's sweet. It's really included. It's also in the first episode of Spaced. Whoa, Pickle. It's quite good. And they had a £1.7 million budget for advertising, which included beer mats, pint glasses in pubs, and a 2000 AD tie-in comic, which I'm hoping...
Oh, I heard about this.
I still have in one of my boxes. Boxes of shit and magazines and stuff. I'm hoping I still have. I might wreck the joint tomorrow looking for it so I can put some pictures up online.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Some photos, if that's the case. Okay, John, I'm going to top them up. Do you want to tell us how many you think we've got?
Oh, 90.
Higher.
97.
Higher, baby.
Hey, never calm down. Free face. 112.
Oh, mate, no, you spunked it. 100 things. 100 things.
Did we do it?
100 things. Look, I'm going to show you as a proof, although the listeners won't give a fuck that I'm showing you. That backwards says 100. Wow. There you go.
Well done, mate. Well done.
100. Fantastic. Very happy with that. That couldn't have gone fucking better.
Yeah,
couldn't have gone better.
That.
Except it could have been maybe about 20 minutes shorter.
Nah. After editing, we'll get right done.
Right, shout out for the patrons that didn't give you an award and call me out as some sort of insufferable twat.
That was funny. Loved it.
Listeners, John got an award for most hard put on fucking podcast host, didn't you?
Yeah.
By Modern Escapism. Fucking biggie. We're coming for you, you space pirate. prick.
I'll let everybody listen to that and they're like, oh, yeah.
And everybody agreed, didn't they? I am playing the faux being upset. I was fucking delighted for you. I won one last year anyway, so fuck you. Right, so Jake, Jen, Adam, Kieran, Maria, Ian, Phil and Gav. Ian at Cult Connections, who I joined recently to talk about Michael Winner's Parting Shots. As bad a film as I could imagine. Another Michael Winner film coming to this podcast, listeners, later this year. And if you are a regular listener, you'll know we do one of these films in every series, every single year.
Is it Dirty Weekend?
That's exactly what it is. It's Ski School. It's Ski School. Gav and Dan be there with Belson Podcast. Josh, from Super Familiar with the Wilsons, is back in the States and telling us all about his visit to London. Mono and Kira has finally finished the Twilight films. And as John knows, we're in talks to get them over here next month for an episode.
Yep.
On the podcast, not in the country. They're not welcome here. Punk, What the Fuck Do You Want? Is a good pod shagger. This week on Hallmark of Greatness, we talked about Star Slammers, John. Star Slammers. Which is an 80s women prison sci-fi film. You can imagine what that's about.
Yeah. Slamming doors. Slamming doors.
Lovely Rob Jones, Record and Bands, recorded his final episode of Records and Bands last week with me. That's right. I killed yet another podcast.
Done and done.
I'm a slasher and I must be stopped. And finally, you heard at the top of the show, we're doing our first live show this year at Megacon, hosted by patrons Ali, Dale and Megan. August the 17th at Richard Rose Academy, Carlisle. Find us between the Wrestling Show, the Cosplayers, and Nigel Davis selling loads of amazing nerd stock. And maybe some of our merch if I ask him really nicely. Please, Nigel, we sell our merch. So we're going to be doing that. It's £5 a ticket. Get them in advance. I'll put a link to the site, or just go on Facebook and look up Megacon Carlisle, and it will come up as its own page. But all of that will be live and sorted by the time you listen to this. As of recording, it is not all live and sorted, which is why I'm not giving you links and stuff now. But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be talking about Shrek, which I am very excited and nervous about.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It'll be good.
It's going to be great stuff. Okay. John, final words for our friends and listeners.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this live show, but it's so nerve-wracking. But I'm glad the support we're getting just now, because it feels as if some of the podcasts we're listening to are just dropping away. As you say, some of the shows are stopping and giving up. We'll never give up. Never give up.
I'd certainly hope
never surrender. We'll keep going.
Jesus Christ. I certainly hope so.
No, I said never surrender, not no surrender.
Oh, right, okay. That's very
thing.
different. Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Thanks very much, listeners, once again. Thanks for indulging me, John, and listeners in this. And apologies we didn't get it out the day that the film...
I know.
20 years to the day the film was released. But it's 20 years to the week, so fuck off, yeah?
Yeah.
We've all got busy lives.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with the Patron's Choice, which I can announce this week, I can announce right now, is Wreck-It Ralph. We're doing Wreck-It Ralph next week.
I'm going to wreck it. I'm going to
wreck it indeed. Fucking hell, mate, the amount of notes I've got on that already.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of references.
Jesus.
Let's try and keep it light.
Please.
He's been John, I've been Planty, and this has been 100 things we learned from Shaun of the Dead. How's that for a slice of fried gold? See ya.
See you guys.